Good morning and welcome to Cawfeetawk. Narcissists. So I've heard this term used over and over, and I guess maybe to some degree I thought I knew what it was, but I didn't really know what it was. Like I didn't know that it was a personality disorder. I thought it was a word that people, like a label that they threw on someone who was overconfident. She's a narcissist. He's a narcissist. I don't know. I didn't really understand the magnitude of what someone who suffers from narcissism really is, how grand of an issue it can be in dealing with people like this in friendship and work. And from what I'm learning from some of you, marriage and then divorce. Narcissism is a real thing. Like, it's a crippling thing for people. I once worked with a client when I first started out in PR. Now I was like maybe 3 or 4 years in. And we would brainstorm and I would come up with all these sort of creative ideas and we would pitch them. And as they would come to fruition, he would always take credit for them. But I just thought that that was the natural, like, publicist-client balance. I thought, well, I'm behind the scenes. If it's my idea, who cares? He's the talent, whatever. But then I started to see that he would do it, like I would catch him lying. He would tell me, oh, I came up with this amazing idea to do X, Y, and Z with my company. And I'm like, oh, that's great. And then I would get a memo from like his managers about how they had come up with this whole idea for him. And here was the plan that we would be following. And I'm like, wait, he just told me and now that I look back, I also realized that anytime he had any rejection at all, the world was out to get him. It was never about a poor performance. It was never about him having a bad day. It was always everyone else's fault. Again, I was in the relationship with him, in the professional relationship. So it was my nature to want to reassure him. Like, yeah, what's their problem? They didn't cast you. Obviously, they don't know what they're looking for. Oh, they cast this actor. That actor has, is blah, blah, blah. And I was feeding into it constantly in every part of our relationship. And now that I've been reading about narcissists, I totally get it. So being in a relationship, first of all, being in a professional relationship with a narcissist is so interesting because there are two types of narcissists. There's these grandiose narcissists who are constantly flossing, showboating. They're not operating from a place of insecurity. They really believe they are like the Kanye West of everything. Like every idea at work was theirs. You could come into work and be like, I was just diagnosed with cancer. And they would be like, oh, do you want to see my new car? It's so amazing. Smells so new. And you're like, oh. Narcissists at work will take credit for everyone's ideas, take control of every meeting. And oftentimes they will have positions of power because they interview very well. And they're these big, over-the-top personalities, the sort of Leonardo DiCaprio Wolf on Wall Street personality, and then you're forced to work under them. And it's like, ugh, everything's about them. And a lot of times they'll be putting the work off on everyone else because they really don't have the skill set, the actual professional skill set to be successful. They have the social skill set, which is totally different because they operate from this schmoozing and charming and charismatic, which is why charm and charisma equals sexy. Sexy equals sex. So ladies and men, because women can be narcissists, I'm dealing with one right now, be very careful because they will literally charm the pants off you. And before you know it, you will be in a relationship with a narcissist who never listens to you, makes everything about them. There's no way for the relationship to be fulfilling, ever. They take no blame, no responsibility, nothing. Anything that is not working in the relationship will be your fault. This goes for friends too. This is when, okay, so confession time, all right? I go to see Father Bob for counseling. I try. try to go once a week, work schedules, his schedules, whatever. But if not, we talk on the phone, sort of to keep myself in mental check, right? I was dealing with a different type of narcissist. So you have the grandiose narcissist who's over the top. And then you have the quiet narcissist who's introverted and actually is the worst kind, because they are sitting watching everybody else's success, believing that it belongs to them, and they are seething at the happiness of others. When other people are having success in any area of their life and these quiet narcissists are around and in their life, they're sucking the positive energy because they believe that everything should be about them. And why is she getting any attention? And why is she finding love? And why is she getting... This is different than jealousy. Jealousy is just like, oh, she has a great husband and I want that, but not wishing that I didn't have it. Narcissists are completely different. Quiet narcissists are the worst kind. And if you try to end a relationship with a quiet narcissist, you see grandiose narcissists will move on. A lot of times they move on because most of the time they're cheating anyway or looking for the... Grandiose narcissists are always looking for the next best thing. They want to move from the Amber Rose to the Kim Kardashian and then from the Kim Kardashian to the Beyonce. They're always looking for the better booty, right? Always. Quiet narcissists, they will not go without a fight. They are the dirtiest fighters. They will use every single thing they have in their arsenal that they've been storing while they've been draining your energy against you. They will come to war with things that you're like, how do you even have that? That's from like 8 years ago. And you know why? Because they've been sitting on the sidelines of your life, secretly believing that everything that you are working on should be for them. It's a real disorder. Sometimes they don't even know they're affected by it. Narcissism is the weirdest thing. Ending a relationship with someone who has this type of narcissism will literally be like World War II. Because when you are the target of their rage, there's no way for you to be prepared for it because they've been preparing for this while you still thought you were best friends, while you still thought you were lovers, while you still thought you were sister and sister or mother and daughter, whatever it is. And you're like, wait, where is all this coming from? These type of narcissists need to continuously be fed. So even when you end the relationship, when you break up, right? Or when you move on, if their ego has been damaged, the supply that they're going to be looking for now to be fed is very different than what they were receiving in the relationship. When they wanted some sort of like pleasure and whatever while they were with you, now the pleasure they're going to get is from seeing you hurting, and they will not stop until they believe they have hurt you to the extent in which they think you should hurt. This is so dangerous, but what do? What do we do? Narcissists crave attention. Give them nothing. As hard as it is, put boundaries. If you are divorcing a narcissist and there are no children, clean break. Have nothing to do with them. Block them on social media. Don't let them get email. Change your email. Block them so they can't contact you on your cell phone, because what they crave is to hurt you. They want the attention. They need to be fed. Get rid of them. If there are children involved, it's obviously a very different situation, and it's a delicate balance because you don't want your children affected. But I will say this to you. Eventually, they will scale back their attack. They will move on to... They will stop playing the victim and convincing everybody in the world that you're the bad guy and all of that. You know, they need the constantly being fed. It will roll back. I know a lot of you are dealing with narcissists. The reason I started reading about narcissists was because you were writing me letters. And I was like, what is a narcissist? Everyone's dealing with them at work, at relationships, at home. Their mom's a narcissist, their husband. What is this? Now I know. I was dealing with one too. Everything reverts back to them. Good, bad, ugly, no matter what. And when things aren't good for them, they'll play the victim. And then you want to come in and save them. It's a vicious cycle, but I promise you it will roll back. If you give them nothing, they can't be fed. They will eventually have to move on to someone else who feeds them because they need to be fed to live. If you are in it right now, I was in it. And when I walked away, oh, the aftermath. But I am telling you, when you give them nothing, they get nothing and they have to move on. Hang in there. Narcissism. Oh, it's crazy. I love you today. Have a great day. Oh, wait, I wanted to tell you one more thing. If you're dealing with a narcissist at work, I learned a tip. If you have an idea, pitch the idea in front of other people that you work with so the narcissist can't take your idea. So staff meetings, creative meetings, things like that, or send an email and copy a bunch of people on it and say, here's what I was thinking. Then they can't take your idea. Anyway, I love you. Have a great day.